daughters of Lot with child, with a son each by their father. And the firstborn bare a son and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day, the so-called Chinese. And when you read this in the blue letter, when you read, who are the actual people of Moab today, they don't go into it, But it's so-called Chinese, so-called Koreans, etc. All right? They'll say the same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger, she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Ami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. So these are two more nations. So far that's 5. They come from Shem. Okay? Ammon are the so-called Japanese. Alright? So that's that. Now, going back to our forefather Abraham, you go to Genesis chapter 16. It speaks about how Sarai, which is Sarah, she gave Abraham, which at the time was called Abram, she gave unto Abraham, her handmaid, Hagar, which bore him a son. Okay? You jump down to verse 10. Genesis chapter 16, verse 10. And the angel of Yahweh said unto Hagar, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of Yahweh said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, thou art with son, and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, which is Yashemai Allah. He is heard of the power, because Yahweh have heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. All right? So-called Arabians, which Arab just means mixed, but the people that predominantly dwell in the Middle East today, we say so-called Arabs, but really they're Ishmael, the nation of Ishmael. And also, I did a little research. Now, Abraham also bore the Midianites. Okay, you go to chapter 25. Genesis chapter 25, verse 1. Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare him Zimram, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua. You scroll down to verse 4. And the sons of Midian, Ephah, and Epher, and Hanok, and Abida, and Elda'ah. All these were, it says children, but really sons of Keturah. Okay? And I was looking into it. Now, in a lot of scriptures, Midian is interchangeable with Ishmael. All right, but going back to Ishmael, so far there's 6. There's six nations that come from Shem, and there's 2 more. All right, you scroll down. We all know this. You scroll down, Genesis chapter 25, and let's see. We can start at verse 21. All right, because we know not only did Ishmael come from Abraham, but Isaac came from Abraham, which is the son of the promise. Genesis 25 and 21. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife, Rebekah, because she was barren. And Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. Now they went to a prophet. All right, Isaac and Rebekah went to a prophet, to get the word of the Heavenly Father. And basically, for the Lord to have mercy on them, so, Rebekah could get pregnant. All right, and she got pregnant. It says children, but really sons, and the sons struggled together within her. They were fighting. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. So they went back to the prophet. And Yahweh said unto her, by way of the prophet, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Alright, the point is, these are 2 more nations that come from Shem, which within the Heavenly Father's movie, these 2 nations is really what it's all about. You know, out of all the sons of Shem, and really out of all the nations on the earth, you know, the main controversy revolves around these 2 nations right here, Jacob and Esau. Alright? Scroll down to verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they call his name Esau, which in the Hebrew is Ashah, or Ashashua, which means wasted away is he. Alright, this is the so-called white race today. Alright, so-called white people. Alright, Caucasians, but really Edomites, you know, properly named. Alright? You know, so that's one more nation that comes from Shem, Edom. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. Which, you know, we was going into that, you know, how Jacob, well, in the Hebrew is Yaquab or Yaquab, which means he supplants. Now, supplant, the actual etymology means under the sole of the foot, you know, so Jacob's name is a nomen omen, all right? But we know that Jacob's name was later changed to Israel, Yasharallah, because he, you know, he wrestled with the angel and he prevailed, you know, and the Heavenly Father spoke through the angel and said, you know, how he has power with the Heavenly Father, you know, but basically he's the son of the power. He's the son of God. All right, you know, which, hey, the Lord, he was really all, you know, he was all about establishing that godly line of Adam, you know, because that's what the Bible is really all about, you know. Even dealing with Shem, there was one particular nation that would keep the name of the Heavenly Father, because Shem means name. All right, who would have the name of the Heavenly Father? The nation of Israel. Because the Heavenly Father's name is dreadful unto the heathen. They wouldn't contain his name. The Lord put his name on us. The other nations were not called after his name. Alright? But the point is, you see that a total of 8 nations come from Shem. Alright? And we went into it. You have Elam, so-called East Indians, so-called Persians, you know, the people of Iran, you know, you have Ashur, the Assyrians. You have Aram, the Syrians. All right, you have the Ishmaelites, so-called Arabs. Okay, and well, you have Moab and Ammon. Moab, so-called Chinese. Ammon, so-called Japanese. You have Edom, so-called white people, and you have Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native and Seminole Indians. All right. So once again, the only way you can be anti-Shemitic is if you don't come from Shem. All right. You go back to Genesis 10. If you just so happen to be a Japhite, and it's not by coincidence, because the Heavenly Father created you to be that. All right. You can control who you are, you know. But if you're a Japhite, you will be anti-Shemitic. You will be opposite of Shem. All right, and you can read, you know, the different tribes that come from Japhet, and these will be the Hawaiians, the Polynesians, the Aborigines of Australia. Okay, Filipinos, which, you know, Israelites are scattered among even Japhet, but Japhet themselves will be these people. Hamites, okay? Yeah. Hey, verse 5, by these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands. Right. So Japhet is anti-Semitic. They're the opposite because they're Japhet. Alright, you got the sons of Ham, which these would be your actual Africans today. You know, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. You know, they're anti-Semitic. They're the opposite. They're Hamitic. They're Hamites. Okay? So that's it, man. You know? That's it. And we know Cush are the so-called Ethiopians. You know, Mizraim, you know, the Egyptians, the original Egyptians. Okay? Alright, and you know, and you got Put and Canaan. Alright? Also, you know, Hamitic tribes. Alright? Which everybody's been, you know, mixed around now. Okay? But these are Hamites. Okay? And actually going back to Sodom and Gomorrah and those other cities, they were inhabited by Canaanites. Alright? But yeah, that's it, man. Lord willing, this is edifying. Alright? But yeah, 8 nations come from Shem, man. And we went into it. So Lord will, you know, the point is there. Alright? Lord will, I'll come back with some more videos, you know, through the Spirit. I just had to make that clarification, you know, for brothers that saw the live stream. Disregard when I was speaking on those 6. Now, those 6 are correct. But also you got Moab and Ammon. You know, Elam, Ashur, Aram, Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, Edom, and Israel. Okay? Yeah, so that's it, man. Alright? You can only be anti-Semitic if you're a Hamite or a Japhite. Alright? But yeah, that's it, man. Lord will is edifying. Once again, call Halayim La, Allahayanahu, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honor to our apostles and elders, great millstone. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect. Shalom.